When I was a kid, I used to go to that bakery and buy bread for my ma, and it was only 23 cents. And they had a stamp on the bread at that time. And the owner was Jimmy Mignola. What a baker he was. He was a nice man, nice family. And that's all we remember when we were kids. We used to eat that nice Italian bread, and my mother used to make breakfast for us. That was our breakfast, bread and butter. Yeah, good old Italian bread. We really miss that. Now it's a nice deli, and they got a nice business. People come from all over to buy that bread.
All famous people?
All people, that's well known all over. Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. Joey really improved the business in that bakery. He was always buying books and trying to improve things over there. In fact, he is the original guy of the Valentine pizza and the Valentine spinach pizza.
The heart-shaped pizza.
The heart-shaped pizza. They were the originals. Yes, sir. Joey was a good worker there. He loved the bakery. That's all he lived for was the bakery. He didn't want to go home. He wanted to stay there all the time. People used to come 7 o'clock in the morning and have a cup of coffee. I used to go in there and bullshit with him every time he made the bread when he first took over. Hard worker guy, boy. He was a good man. And he was good to everybody. If people didn't have no money, he gave it to them. Pay me when you got it. I know he got stiffed a lot of times too. But that's par for the course. Yeah, good old Italian bread. I go in there and sit down, and I always see people I wouldn't see for a long time, because everybody came in there at one time. At one time, we had all Italian people in there. But times changed, a lot of them died, a lot of them moved away. You know, people that moved away always came back, though. They always came back and bought their bread. Yeah, the good old Italian bread. Yeah, you gotta keep up the tradition, though. There's not too many places that make good Italian bread. But now it's a nice deli, and they have good business. Good business. Good lunch meats. Everything is good. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm John Masasi, a friend of Joe Scudiero. We used to work together at the Chicago Revenue Machine Company. And later on, Joe started making bread. From bread, he went to pizza and sandwiches and so forth and so on. And before you know it, it flourished as a good pizza place and bread place. And everybody came and enjoyed their bread and other things that even his wife started making, salads and things like that. And one thing ran to another. The children started helping, and before you know it, they had more friends coming in, enjoying the sandwiches and talking with them about the old days, you know. And Joe, he's always a kind person, and we used to enjoy having a cup of coffee and talking about the old days. At one time, Joe's wife was having some baby, but it wasn't one, it was twins, Anthony and Aldo. And she needed a little help in taking care of the register, so I offered to help them because I had time, and I did it for maybe 3 or 4 weeks, and then I went back to work, and I couldn't spend that much time over there anymore. And then Lily, she came back to work and took care of the register like she always did. But we always continued to have 5 or 6 people on a Saturday morning, and we'd have coffee and talk about the old days. And Joe enjoyed us being there and we enjoyed having him as our leader. And as time went on, poor Joe, he sort of got sick, and little by little, the things were being dropped on the sons to take over and make bread and continue on with pizzas and sandwiches. And today, they're still doing that, which is very nice as an honor to their dad.
Hi, my name is Frank Scudiero. I'm the second oldest of the Scudiero brothers. I worked with my dad for over 15 years at the bakery. Working at the bakery was a lot of fun. I enjoyed myself. Working and living in Melrose Park was like one big family. My dad started taking pictures of all our customers, and before you know, we had thousands of pictures on the wall. People would take the bread bags, they would bring them all over the country. Some of the bread bags would end up in Florida, Italy, California, China. Just carried on and on. It was a great tradition. We had a lot of fun doing that. My grandfather came from Italy, and Magnolia had their bakery there, and their oven had blown up. It was a brick oven and it was coal fed, which is still the original oven. I believe there's only 2 or 3 left in the whole country, like the oven that we have at the bakery, and it can't be rebuilt or duplicated. My grandfather rented the business from Magnolia. That's how he started. And then Anthony Sabatino, my grandfather's son-in-law and my uncle, they were partners in the business. So they remodeled the front and they repaired the oven, and my grandfather had his secret recipe from Italy because he was a family of bakers, and they started baking bread. And of course the bread was so delicious and wonderful, it caught on. And again, everybody in Melrose Park was buying the homemade bread. It got so popular that my Uncle Tony Sabatino, he decided he wanted to expand. Yeah. So him and 2 partners, they got together and they formed Yamo Baking Company. And they moved out to Bloomingdale, and Bloomingdale was just open land at the time. There was nothing out there. So they opened their baking company and bakery, and before you know it, the recipe was so popular they were selling 5,000 to 10,000 loaves a day. Of course, you know my Uncle Tony Sabatino, he became ill, and he passed away at an early age, so they had to close the business down. And years went by, and my grandfather also had passed away and left the bakery to my mom. So my mom was a young girl at the time, and she was working at the bakery, and my dad was working full-time at the Chicago Rivet in the factory. Someone had mentioned, let's try to fire the ovens up again. So my dad, with the help of Tony DeToli and Uncle Mike DeToli, went in the back room, experimented with the oven, and again they fired them up. So the ovens were again alive. So they were in the back room many nights experimenting, and then again, secret recipe, before you know it, they started baking bread. And of course, with that recipe, hot bread was out every morning. Again, they were selling hundreds of loaves of bread a day. At that point, my father purchased the building from Magnolia. And now it was called the Italian Food Store. And then they changed the name to Scudiero Bakery. My dad left his factory job to concentrate on the bakery full time. And then he worked at Scudiero Bakery and owned Scudiero Bakery for over 35 years. And that's why it's Scudiero Bakery today.